the rare, smaller mouth Taiwan version, I believe it's Taiwan version of the Biker Scout. That was a nice surprise gift from Joseph. I had never seen one in person, but even the body sculpt has more detail. It's a bit crisper than the regular release. That's far more common with the larger mouth. But those two there, the ATST and the Biker Scout here, those are the childhood survivors of my childhood ATST. This speeder bike here, the front is my childhood original. I believe it's another one I picked up. That's the one that came in the box. And I have one of those. Got that for Christmas of 1981. Even my father was impressed with what the toy's size and what it was capable of. Now coming back over to Ewok Village, on the next level we have the 3-stand solo Jedi Ghosts, Anakin, Yoda, and Obi-Wan, another Rebel lift. I can name all the Ewoks, but I don't know them individually looking at them. Call me an Ewok racist, but they all look alike to me. But there's Tebow and Ramba and Orok and another Sand Solo, but this is, I believe, the Lily Letty version. That is my childhood original Ewok there, next to him, and my childhood Chirpa, 3PO on a throne. This is harder to get around. This is a really cool, screen-accurate Jedi celebration, even with the belt of Luke after the battle. That's the robes and what he looked like at the end of Jedi. He did not, once he got back to Endor, he put on his outer robes and didn't just have that tunic that he wore during the last duel. Then we have a very cool, beautifully painted by Joseph drum set. That's done by the Trash Compactor. I painted the brown crap that it's on, but he did all of our work in the detail on the helmets. The rest of the Ewoks, that is an original Ghost. And then again, the overall shot of the Battle of Endor is on the bottom of that shelf. Next up, we have the Rebel hands. Starting at the top, we have a Pro Customs Fleet Trooper, some Pro Customs pilots here, a incredibly done, I don't know if this is coming through, but this is actually a Power of the Force 2 version of the A-Wing, but that friend Joseph, again, de-weathered it, repainted it with the right finish and the right colors of the original release at the end of the line when it was Power of the Force / droids. All I had to do was grease it. They were absolutely gorgeous. And then at the top, we have a B-Wing pilot with a custom Sand Solo droid. There's a B-Wing up there with a B-Wing pilot in the cockpit in flight mode. That's a stand from Zach Paris. Moving down, we have another A-Wing pilot. That is an original, not a Sand Solo, but the droid next to him is a Sand Solo droid. Akbar Madine, the Retro Collection Mothma. That is a Sand Solo Lando. We have Nine Num and Prunkus. The incredible, gorgeous Y-Wing with a really cool, I think this might be Tony's least favorite droid. I can never remember. One of them he absolutely despises, but one of them he loves. This might be the one he loves. I might have it completely wrong. With the next one, Pilot Luke. That's a pilot. Two more Pro Custom figures. Two more back there, along with the Stan Solo droid. Then we have the Stan Solo Rebel Fleet Trooper in a tower. Star Wars, and that's from the Trash Compactor. And we have the battle damage version of Looks X-Wing, but without battle damage stickers. We have Luke and Biggs. Biggs is Droid and Luke. Again, these are all Pro Customs. Another Pro Customs Rebel Fleet Trooper and a Han and Leia. Moving down from there, we get to Tatooine and Mos Eisley. We have some Stan Solo custom Jawas, some Stormtroopers looking around, extreme accurate Greedo facing off against Han and Chewie. We have a beautiful, beautiful custom robe, Jedi robe made by Joseph's wife, cutting or almost about to cut off the arm of Walrus Man. Of course, double telescoping lightsaber makes that look a lot better. Then we have the newly released Stan Solo sisters, the Hanukkah sisters. A painful, you barely can see it back there. I can't get a shot of it, but that's a painted leg version of Stan Solo's 3PO. I have a chromed bottom leg, silver leg. My childhood Hammerhead is the standing bar tender for this. Then we have a Pro Customs. Yeah, this is a Pro Customs Sand Trooper. All three of these here, along with the Land Speeder. We got Luke and Obi-Wan and the two droids. Then we have Snoot Spout, and these have the trash compactors equipment on them. The pauldrons, the backpacks, and all the weapons, those are all clip-on 3D printed resin, and you can take any standard Stormtrooper and do that. But next to those two guys in the Snoot Spout, we have the Stan Solo Kubrickian 9000 Land Speeder that he made. That's a really cool little mini rig that we saw just outside the bar, so that's why that's there. A droid Astromech from him. Another one, that's just an off-light blue there. His newest release back there, next to a dino cake that I made for a regular Greedo. Then we have his blue snaggletooth. Let's see if we can focus here. Blue snaggletooth, a tall red snaggletooth. Both those Stan Solo made, and then the regular snaggletooth. So I decided to put all three guys there. More of those slip-on accessories. That is the missing arm. That is my childhood FX7 medical droid in the back there. Moving on to the Land of the Jawas playset, we have a cartoon version, droids version of 3PO, a custom, newly made version of R5D4 in that same cartoon, and then R2D2. A blown up custom sticker for R5D4. Actually, Owen said get rid of the red one with bed motivated or loading back up on there. Same crawler. We have the power droid, the Jawa that's standing on top there. That is my childhood Survivor, all the original there. I do have, it is really beaten up, but that is an original childhood Survivor golden sticker, but red bar version of R5D4. I have no idea when I was a kid that that was worth anything rare or special, but I did have that. In fact, because the sticker was bullshit, I replaced him on the shelf below. You see the replacement for that. Got all of Tatooine on that shelf. Oh, I forgot about the two-back and another Pro Custom figure. That is the Power of the Force 2 Hasbro version of the Lance or Spear, whatever you want to call it, that he carried. But that's very akin to a promotional photo that they had done. I believe the same trooper had a white Balsam, but I thought having an orange was, different. Then these two customs here, Joseph painted to look like the releases that were done with that stupid Monopoly board game, the Renegade Trooper. Now, I never watched any of those Disney Plus shows, but I thought the figure was a cool idea, so he made versions of these for me. Moving down to the next shelf, we have more of Tatooine. Because I don't have the Sears exclusive radio-controlled Jawa Sandcrawler, I got the Hasbro version to go here for now. Here is a second version of the cartoon version that Stan Solo did about part 2. One is a Makana version, and the other is the regular version, or one is a Ready or a Glass Leaf, I forget. But he made different flavors, so there's my childhood with... No, that is not. That is a Stan Solo Red Bar, or by default, but this one over here, the third leg, is my childhood replacement that I got because that sticker on the other one was so fun. This is a custom Joseph did. The body was all from Stan Solo, completely unpainted, no sticker. But this is M0NA. This was done as a custom by Mona, and her favorite color is purple. And because we could not get a certain color, her second favorite color was green, so that's why the top of the dome is green with some of those wild mixes. Some vinyl cake Jawas that Stan Solo did. And then we have Bosk and his Cap 2, some of the coins that Stan Solo has produced over the years. The incredibly underrated, amazing play value I never had as a kid but always wanted, Droid Factory. I thought this thing was amazing when I first saw it as a kid. It actually had real blueprints, not like real blueprints that's ultimately found out with the box. Bad shape for the box, but with the box I should really buy for good money. Excuse me. Then we move on to this is the modern Hasbro version. It was only because through getting different toy lots that I had so many leftover Jabba denizens. I figured I found this skip dirt cheap. I think I paid this shipping $15. And I thought, well, I can throw the figures on there and do something with it. And it actually was before I had bought the Power of the Force 2 version, which I much prefer, and just haven't gotten rid of this. So these are leftover guys. That's why Squid Face there has no accessories whatsoever. But since you never really see him without all this stuff on, there's actually some nice detail and some differences underneath all of his garments. So put him there. Then we have in front of that the incredible Stan Solo Bantha. But that was a huge surprise gift from Tony. Toys, so huge thanks to him. Love that with all the different Sand people. I made a custom cape there. This is one of the retro collections for a different line, but I thought it would add a little bit of variation in the Sand people and look and work well with the original stuff without standing out as something modern. And from there down we go another double shelf, and this is the Imperial Arrival and Imperial Top Day and overall Death Star. So in the left corner here we have some of the evil droids. These are all customs by Stan Solo. The black version of the Death Star droid, a 000 dark chrome, not really coming picture of Dr. Evazan, I believe it's an expanding universe, and then a Stan Solo version of the Death Star droid. Just incredible chrome on those. Then we have Imperial Shuttle, a duo of versions in there. One is done by Stan Solo, one from the Imperial Guards. Just below the Hasbro version of Power of the Force 2 release of Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, I have the amazing Stan Solo custom removable helmet Darth Vader. And a custom Jedi loop final loop that I did. All I did really was take an Endor loop, hit that off, put a regular Jedi loop set on there, and clouds are up. But yes, that is without the green rockets. I much prefer the gray version to the green firing rockets that come out. And then below that is the miniature version of the Arrival of the Emperor. We have some customs from Stan Solo in there. All of these Death Star gunners are Stan Solo customs. I believe this one right here is the Retro Collection version, just to the left, our right, his left of the Royal Guard there. Then we move on to the Death Star playset. Of course, we have Obi-Wan turning off the tractor beam. The mouse droids are from the Trash Compactor. That is a Stan Solo, Darth Vader next to the Retro Collection, Grand Moff Tarkin. Back there, two Stan Solo customs. That's an original Death Star or gunner. That's there standing. And production. Another one of those mouse droids. Moving on to the second level, we have a Stan Solo custom droid there. Obi-Wan and Vader. Another one of the customs. This is the second release. It's a brighter blue, or it's a more rich blue, but they're both almost identical. Just a different hue, but I wanted to get the second version. Then we have a larger mouse droid. The Stan Solo removable helmet stormtrooper Luke and Han escaping down the hatch, and of course there's the Dino the Monster, the Trash Compactor. These are, I believe these are glass leaks versions of 3PO and R2, and those are both Stan Solo customs. We have the heroes here. Luke and Han are both wearing Trash Compactor stormtrooper belts, and Luke has the blaster that fits in his lightsaber port. And just back there, discussing the arrival of the Emperor so they're just chatting back there. Now, even though this kind of breaks up the different cabinets, I'm going to continue with the Star Wars and finish that up now on the other side of the room. So the bottom three shelves, and then we'll move on to the other toy lines. So here we have the three heroes that put their masks after they went out of the Falcon to explore the cave that turned out to be Trash Compactor. Again, this guy keeps coming up, very much like his stuff. Glass shield training for Luke. The stickers come with it for the lines and the two marks on the other side of the ones I painted there. Oh, the sides of the helmet have decals as well. Just thought that kind of added something there. We have R2, 3PO playing chess, and of course we have Han Solo in Gunner's chair. Out of focus. Han Solo in the Gunner's chair of the Falcon. Just below that we have the movie-accurate version of General Calrissian with his pilot. This is more of that kind of hangar bay. We have the Vehicle Maintenance Energizer, some different Rebel Fleet Troopers. Those are all Pro Customs. They made 6 versions, so that's why you see so many of them. 2 Caucasian, 1 with it and without a mustache, 2 Asian, and 2 African Americans with and without mustaches on all those, and that's how you get 6. Another Stan Solo custom droid there. Absolutely love that thing. Just gorgeous. In the back there, there's die-cast. Those are my childhood original Star Destroyer and Falcon. Then we have the Hasbro release of the TIE Bomber. Just think it's a cool ship, one to finish out the TIE Fighter collection. Then moving down here, we have the Yavin Ceremony Custom 3PO and R2. This is a Pro Custom Captain Antilles Holy Moon Plans. A Leia that I made a cloth cape for, inner and outer there. Small and big head Han, my childhood survivor Luke. I've touched up a lot of figures, but I forgot to mention that I did not touch up a single childhood survivor. Those all have original play wear, and I wanted to keep that. General Dodonna and these pilots, all the two pilots with the helmets are Pro Customs, and then B and the A-Wing pilot, and more custom pilots with their helmets. I forgot that I did have Chewie on top.
That's it, they were what the even though there's a lot of noise saying it's such a they go back and play.
Those are all Han in hot gear. But one of those will be up here with Chewie working on the Falcon. Those two accessories, the goggles and the torch, are from the Transformer. Moving down, we get to the Hot and all of those playsets. The turret and robot playset, I will never and shall never consider that an Imperial playset. They never had trenches. It was always the Rebels, so that's why that's set up like that. And in front of that, again, this is Hot Han piloting that, fighting Snow Trooper. And over here, this is my childhood survivor Snow Trooper with his rifle. My childhood AT-AT commander / some places General Veers. Cardboard AT-AT playset and some Imperials to fight off all the rebels. Moving down, Warhawk. We have the big pickle. Highly underrated toy / playset / case. Tons of play features on this thing, and people really overlook it. It's a bit fragile now, but that's only because it's over 40 years in the place. It's not great. Then we have Snow Speeder, probably my #1 favorite vehicle Kenner ever made. Snow Speeder Luke, another old X-Men Luke. Some other customs from Stan Solo, both those droids there. There would be a Pop Han here holding a blue lightsaber, cutting open and stuffing Luke into that open belly. Again, more being done on him. Luke and Han on their Tauntauns. The Tauntaun that Luke is on and Luke, those are all childhood originals, all childhood survivors. Now, the Tauntaun that Han is on, if you look closely, those are actually replacement paintings that look really damn good. So, if you don't want to spend the money for originals, I highly recommend those. Down here, two more customs by Stan Solo the droids, and then two on the, of course, there. Any rate, my childhood original pop-up lightsaber art pop-up center scope R2D2 with a Stan Solo third leg and my original Mark I 3PO. Not in terrible shape. Limbs are quite loose, but otherwise he's in good shape. And then the rest of the Rebel base. To finish it off, I have that board game here just basically as a background, not because I'm into the board game, but because it kind of works with the scene. And now for the final cabinet. Start at the top here. I'm new to this world of Mego in the last 5 years. I've never collected Mego as a kid, but I went in strong. So the first figure here is a Khan that is a gift from James Salzberg. Got that several years ago. He actually used that from Tony Available Toys He lived not too far away, maybe 2 hours, but long and short, got connected and he was extremely kind enough to sell me some and then gave me some gifts. Mego figures that he and his brother wanted as gifts and was doing in his collection. But the figure that started it, we should start there, was Scotty. Scotty was a gift from Joseph, whom I've spoken of many times here. He got me that, and then I had went down the whole path. I got Kirk, and I got Spock and McCoy. The Chekhov and Sulu, those were never released back in the day, so those are modern figures. The Sulu, I really would like to get a second version of him. This is the painted face version. It's so shiny and so awful. It's awful. I mean, especially when all the other figures' faces aren't painted. It's the molded plastic, and Chekhov's is molded plastic. Don't know why they did a version like that of Sulu, but anyway. Then Joseph, as a surprise gift, gave me the Mego Enterprise Bridge with working transport. Huge shot. Finished that up, wanted to get all the different matching blue color. That was my preference. They made yellow. I'm not sure if they made a third color. I guess the third blue color, so he said. And got tracked down all the cards that are double-sided for the view screen. And next to that, we have a small collection of prop replicas, toys, and other trinkets. We have the Diamond Select Phaser 1 and Phaser 2 for Star Trek, from Star Trek Motion Picture, from Star Trek 3, the Surfer Spot thing of 2 different pieces, Phaser 1 and 2. Then we have the Wand Company original series Phaser and Communicator. Recently picked this up. This is a 3D printed version of one of the medical scanners that McCoy used. Thought that worked well with those things, especially since the tricorder is coming out, and they don't have a hand scanner for that, so I wanted something that went in there. The cases for those 2 on Communicator and Phaser. Back there is a framed sheet of the U.S. stamps that were released for Star Trek that my aforementioned science teacher for middle school gave me. That is a metallic emergency survival Starfleet blanket that holds up there. Then we have the Bluetooth communicator and the regular non-Bluetooth but still makes the sounds magnetic TNG communicators, the rank pips. The pits and squeaks from the Rapicon Monster Marine and all of the, not all, but some of the rank pins. The Terran system patch that goes on the field jacket, that first was in Star Trek 2. That's the command version. We have the Smithsonian Enterprise pin that I got when I went down to see that one of the times. Seen that multiple times throughout my life. It's been all over the place in Washington. The only survivor of my modeling career as a little kid when I used to put models together is from Star Trek 5, the shuttlecraft that the Big 3 and Cybok took down 2 shots already. And then that's the sticker for the 91, the 50th anniversary that came with that model kit. It was AMT for the Enterprise. Then we move on to the main Mego fleet collection. You can start in the back here. We have the both versions of the Romulan commander, the glow-in-the-dark Gorn, the 2 dress uniform versions of Kirk and Spock. Then we move to the main releases of Mego. Now I decided to go with the later versions that had the black with the silver accented accessories with more screen accurate. I thought it looked better. We have Kirk in one of his wraparound tunics, the medical smock that McCoy wore, and apparently he's low on red blood cells because he looks like a damn ghost. Terrible, terrible color in the middle for his face and his arms. A painted face Scotty. A horrible, horrible face of the girl. Now look at that face, Scotty. Pardon the quick pan. And look at this face sculpt of the original one. Gorgeous. Michelle Nichols was a beautiful woman. She makes her look like a monster. Horrible. Just horrible. Another gift from Jamie Salzberg, Jamie's brother. This is an original Mizo Kirk with the wraparound tunic, but this is the earlier version. Even has the command badge sticker on the side there. Then the row neck in front of that, we have Mirror Universe Spock, Kirk, Sulu, and Uhura. That's on Turbo Face Sculpt. From the Gene Salzberg collection of that Andorian. And this is the modern release that just came out a handful of months ago. But looks very, very much like the actor from the episode. Very debatable. The Telosian leader back there, who was also Granny from The Last Starfighter. Then Joseph got me, I believe it was Commander Data. And since I wasn't going to collect any of the next gen, but didn't want to just stand there alone, I had to get a next one. And then the only toy trade I ever did, a carded Mego Captain Kirk. I traded that for a Slave One I had. In the front row, we have the Wrath of Khan uniform versions of Kirk and Spock. It even comes down to the point that most of the like the pits and squeaks on Kirk, they're arranged exactly like they were. And really nice detail with that. The tunic stuff don't look quite right. Then we have both versions of the motion picture of Spock, Star Trek motion picture versions of Spock, Kang. We have 4 of those are all modern releases, and then the original version that's also from Gene Salzberg. Then we have the Mego 3.75 motion picture figures, but not the Mego playset because that's a piece of shit and overpriced. This is a hardcore pop. Michael French covered on Retro Blasting. I believe it was the Battlestar Galactica playset, but I looked them up and got it, flat pack, cut it all out, glued and taped it together, and absolutely love it. And it works perfectly with these figures. Great play set. Not my favorite bridge, but very neat. These trading cards, these two came with toys that I bought. The seller just happened to include them. And then these Star Trek ones were gifts from Joseph. Now we get into the Centurions. Kenner Centurions. The last toy line I collected, absolutely gorgeous. First, we're going to have to start with the flashlight version tie-in product of Dominator. That was an awesome gift from Scuba Pete. Amazing. I'll put links to all of these people I've mentioned and all the different sellers, so people, have their questions asked. Next to him is the Power Pack. That was an accessory. You pulled that thing that looks like a suction cup is actually just a handle. You pull that out, it's cool, you pull it multiple times, and then throw that little black switch there, and the center is the power pack, which then turns the center cog on all of the exobrains of all the different guys, and makes different things happen, as in the case with Detonator there and Jake. The 2 front chest cannons will move in and out constantly, and then sensor scope on the top, that would circle. But we have the Centurion collection. All of these weapon systems are all childhood originals. I collected this line incessantly, and the only thing I had to do was buy figures because the weapon systems display better with a figure than if they weren't. They are designed to sit and connect to themselves and sit and wait to be called, but they do display a level better if they're in a figure. So we have Jake Rockwell, Fire Force, and Hornet, Bob Weasel, and Detonator, Space Cloud with Sky Knight, Orbital Interceptor, and in the back, Sky Bolt with a B, not to be confused with Sky Vault with a V. That was where Crystal Kane and Lucy, the orangutan, sat and beamed down all the systems as needed. And finally, the leader, Max Ray, with, from the left, Death Charger, Tidal Blast, and Cruiser. I don't have any of the later releases of Jake's and of Max's weapon systems, but maybe someday I'll get some of those. Then we have the bad guys, Doc Terra and Hacker. I have Doc Terra connected to one of the Strafer drones. His robot has cyborg head, rather, and the parts for that Strafer drone connected there. It's all complete, but I just wanted one of them connected, and I thought blue and red would look better than blue and blue with Hacker. So, and there's my childhood Strafer drone on the right there, just in that Hacker. I did happen to pick up one of the Lemon Toy boom drones, Terror drones. It's okay. It's not the scale. It's not in the finish. It really doesn't the figures, but it works. I ordered before I pressed my error. And then finally, last but not least, the last two cells, Vanessa. Except for Vanessa and Manta, these are all my childhood originals. Slingshot. For Raven, I believe. Is that Raven? Hurricane, Rhino. Just absolutely loved this toy line. Thought it was amazing. The first one I got was Condor. Watched the cartoon incessantly. And then, again, Jody with his gag gifts. He knows I can't stand Scott and T-Bob. T-Bob would be fine with reprogramming. You could fix T-Bob. It's a robot servant that's also transportation. That would be amazing. He's just a jackass that needs a personality fix. Scott is himself in the first episode. I would have held him in a shallow tub and watched the light, of course, just run out of his body. But we don't want to get dark. This is toys, and we keep this upbeat. We have Fun McLean Firecracker, Gator, who's the guy that works at the Boulder Hill? Terrible, I can't remember his name. Jody's absolute favorite mass vehicle of all time. And Condor. Moving down, we have the bad guys. The last mass vehicle I picked up, and the only one I didn't have, was Vanessa and Manta. Jody helped me complete this. Also, the same thing with another the weapon on the front there. That's a replacement that he got me, that big cannon on the front. And I just love this toy line as a kid, and being able to display them really, really, really love these vehicles. And I'm so fortunate that all of these are childhood originals that didn't get lost and didn't get beaten up and were able to be restored. It took some doing for these, because there was some real strange odor that had gotten into the rubber of the tires, but it eventually went away with cleaning, and I tried ozone, I tried all sorts of things. And then here we have another gag gift from Jody, sorry, T-Bob. When we went scuba diving, a figure kind of fell over in the box there, but party's hard. T-Bob is hilarious. Then we'll wrap up with the final shelves. This is just kind of, the last shelves are a hodgepodge mixture of different items, different lines. This is an original childhood toy I had. The top rotates, and there's two sets of different colored marbles, so you can play tic-tac-toe on the road. Just something I had left over as a kid. John was a gift. He squeezed his belly, his eyes light up. Somebody got me that as a gift. That's a button I had as a kid in middle school. A kazoo with which I earned on one of the multiple field trips. This was 8th grade to Washington, D.C. 8th grade, I went to 13, 14, because it was summer. So anyway, use that kazoo and earn over $25 in front of the Lincoln Memorial just kazooing patriotic songs. Ridiculous. The only modern, the vintage collection Star Wars Hasbro figure I had, I wanted to get one to see if what all the hubbub was about. I hated it, thought it was rubbery. That's a can of Narragansett beer. That's the beer that Quint drank in Jaws. A little Chinese caricature figure that was a gift on one of my trips to China. These two cars up front, the McLaren P1 on the left was a gift from Joseph's son. They saw it, they know my cars, and they thought they would get that for me. And then this is a GoBots. GoBots knockoff, I believe, Skids, I don't know. I don't really know the GoBots, but it's a nice gift. So that's on display. Then we have the smallest Playmobil vehicles from the 80s collection. The 18 van, the Back to the Future. I have it mainly in flight mode just so it doesn't roll off that riser. We have Magnum and his crew with the 308 GTS. And then we have Kit and the Night 2000. Just the best version of Kit I've ever seen, Bonnie and Devin. In the back there, on the actual glass behind the Batman figures is a litho from one of the non-ombudsman books that I bought of DC, and then matching the big three on that wall. These are DC figures in the back of Batman. I get the scale 6 or 7 inch. They're absolute garbage. Sorry, funny, rubbery. You can see the knees on the first appearance Batman of this wobbly. He's leaning up against. Parts fell off. Never played with them. Only ever displayed them, and they fell apart. And the Superman was a gift from Joseph that got me started. Superpowers on the set myself. I originally got it later releases
Yeah, we did it.
It wasn't the right figure.
It
wasn't the right version.
Took me a
So
fucking hour.
A cheap version of Batman there. Then we have an actual functioning, so to speak, version of the graphic launcher. The